Hello and welcome. Today we are back with another video, and this is going to be one of the DIY videos. Today we're actually going to be working on the Ashwinder eggs and nest. I saw this video going a completely different way because I was planning to use black glitter as my ash, and yeah, with everything going on, I have huge things of black glitter and can't find a single thing of glitter at all. So I have no idea what's happened to them. So today we're going to be going a different route with them. Now I did end up picking up the eggs that I showed in the last one at Hobby Lobby, and I ended up picking up these. We're going to use these eggs, and I also ended up thinking that we will end up using another one of these. Now we did this one with the flu powder, and it came from Dollar General. It was $2, and I ended up getting these when they were half price or buy one get one free, I think is the way it was. So I think we're going to end up using this. I wouldn't really normally use this with it, but I got to thinking, the nest, I want it to look like it is truly ash, because when you think Ashwinder, you think the nest would be made of ash. And so I thought maybe it wouldn't be so bad to have this little spoon, because one of your ingredients could be ash from an Ashwinder's nest. And also, you could use this to potentially pick up one of the eggs. Now, yes, I know this would catch fire and burn in your hands, but we could also use it to coat it a little bit to make it seem like it's coated in like something to make it a little bit fire resistant or heat resistant. So, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and use this one for that. And then I also ended up getting this a while back. It is color changing acrylic paint, and it has several, well, it has 16 colors in it, according to the box. Yeah, so I thought we would end up using this because for the flu powder, I ended up using this green sand to do my flu powder with, and I ended up getting this in a bag from Dollar Tree. It was a big bag of this, and this is the amount that I would use to make the flu powder in this container. But I thought we would end up using some of this. I won't need this much, and we'll end up just using some of this paint to potentially color it, since I can't find my black glitter, because it does have a black flash in here, but also it has some other colors, and I think I'm going to use some of these colors to paint the eggs with, to make them more of that. The Ashwinder eggs are more of that fire color, so that red, orange, you know, like flame, because they're hot to the touch, and so you think fire. And so I think what I'm going to do is end up using the paint to paint the eggs, and I also think I'm going to put some of it in with this to potentially color it and see what we get. I just have an extra little jar here, and this little wooden skewer that I'm going to end up using it to put the green in here and color it with. And then for the eggs, we're going to end up painting those and letting them set. So I think I'm going to start with the sand and see if we can paint some of it to start getting it the look that we want it. I don't need a whole lot of it, I don't think. I think I just need a little bit. My thought is to mainly have it kind of go up around the edges some, but then to kind of have it like hollowed out in the middle, to where I can put some of these eggs like down in it and then have the other ones kind of like up, kind of like heaping type. So let's start with this black flash and just see if this even works. I don't know for sure if it will. My thought of using just black glitter and pouring it in there would have definitely been a lot easier and a lot quicker. I might find my glitter. So I think what I need is like some little shelves of some sort that have like, or drawers of some sort that are big enough for me to put my stuff in, but then small enough that I can put stuff in and still see everything. So let's just see if this will work, though. It may not, and I may just end up needing to just go buy some black glitter and get it over with. But if you have black glitter, I would do that, because it would just be so much easier. It would just simply be a pour it into the bottom and it would work for you type thing. I mean, this, well, I say that, but this actually looks a little more like real ash to me than what I think the glitter even would. So far, I've put about 10 drops of paint in this. Even if you did something like black sand of a sort, or like a black kinetic sand or something, like that would be a really good idea. Because this is working, but to mix it with that black glitter, I think would even be better, just because it would be more of that true ashy, black ashy tone. I'm not happy that I can't find that stuff by any means, and I'll probably find it later and be wishing I'd have just put this video off until then, but I don't have everything I need to do the other videos either, and I haven't been able to run out and go get that yet. So maybe potentially I can go get it later and we can do some of the other videos. This has actually turned that green sand. It's kind of a mossy green color now, so it's kind of working. If I put a few more drops in here, what it will do. And I think I'm going to have to put some more sand in it is the problem, because I don't think I'm going to have enough sand to cover as much space as I need to. Okay, so I ended up putting about twice as much sand in there and then adding more of the paint. So I think I have about 12 drops of the paint in here now. So we'll just see how much this does and see if it's actually working at all. If it's not, I may take a second to try to search one more area that the glitter could possibly be, but I hate when I do that kind of stuff because I just can't, I hate when I can't find something. Are you like that? Is it just me? I should know exactly where it is and I just don't. I didn't find the black glitter, but I did remember that I have some black mica powder. And so I think I'm going to end up putting some of this in here just because this would hopefully turn that a lot darker without wasting all the paint. Mica powder definitely will get all over you if you're not careful. If you're using mica, just know that it is definitely not a clean process. But I'm going to put a good chunk of mica in there. And I think I'm going to end up using both colors because this mica is just like a flat black color, to where this other one has like the silvery gray luster color in it. I think I'm going to end up using some of it too. Okay. So I think this will end up turning it for sure kind of the color that we want. So I think what I'm going to have to do is let this dry also while I'm letting the eggs dry, because I don't want it to be wet when we close it up. I don't know that it would really cause any major problems, but I just don't think that is the idea that we want. The other problem with this using this mica is if it shifts and the eggs end up down in it, the eggs are going to end up with this black tone as well on them. So again, the glitter would have been the best idea if you have a lot of black glitter that you can use just to fill the little jar up with, because then you can just shift it around to make your eggs shine if you move it around. In theory, this shouldn't be moved around, but like I said, we are supposed to be moving, so mine will have to be packed up and moved. Hopefully it doesn't end up causing any real problems. So this is what it looks like in the jar that I'm planning to use. And if you just look at it right here, it really does look like it could be ash. Okay, believe it or not, I just remembered where the glitter was. So I also have stuff to do like the car freshies, and yeah, it was in there. So we do have the black glitter now, but I think I'm going to keep this in here because this is really looking a lot like real ash to me. I think it would be a good idea just to have it in there. So I think what I'm going to do is end up pouring a lot of this in here and seeing what it looks like. Like I'm pouring a good chunk in here, and then we're going to mix this up. Because I was thinking I just wanted the black glitter to start with just because it's shiny and it would be really cool looking. But now that I'm working with this sand, it has more of the texture like actual ash would have. See how the glitter just kind of like goes up on the sides and stays? So maybe this is what we need to do, is end up just kind of mixing the two together to get the look that we need. Because if we do this, I mean, you can definitely tell it's glitter in there, but by mixing the two, it's not really leaving a residue like the paint would or was doing, and like how the mica powder would do. Adding the glitter in there is kind of keeping it from rubbing off so much, I think, because I think the glitter is sticking to the sand. So I think what I might do is add a little more sand in here and a little more paint, because I kind of like the way that the paint is doing. And it's kind of like clumping it all together. To me, that is more like what the ash would be like in reality, I think. So let's see what this does. If that paint will hold that glitter in a little bit tighter than it just floating around, I think that is an answer. So maybe I really didn't just want the glitter in there, now that I'm seeing it in person. It definitely would be easier. So if you wanted to just do black glitter, just to make this a very quick and easy DIY, you could definitely just do the black glitter, paint your eggs, and then stick them down in there, and that'd be good enough. You could definitely do that. because I want it to look like my eggs are down in the nest, like the nest is coming up around the edges. And I think yep, that's what I'm going to need to do. Glitter is still on the outer edges here, but by adding the paint in there, it's making it be more ashy looking than actual glitter looking. That makes sense? I'm going to keep mixing this up just a little bit and I'll show it to you when I get through. Now my spoon looks like this, but that's kind of the way I think it should look. If you're messing with Ashwinder, that kind of stuff, your spoon should look dirty. And so I think by using it to mix this stuff up, I think it's actually giving us the look that we want it to have, or that it should have. But yeah, so that's kind of what it looks like. And then this is what the inside of the nest is looking like. So you can see that it's kind of up around the edges, and I can push it down some to where it's not up quite so high, but I have a hole in the middle of it, and that's what a nest should look like. So I'm going to set this to the side for right now. We now have our eggs right here, and it looks like these eggs are actually glued onto this nest. I did not realize that, so I'm just going to take them and twist them off of here, because I don't care if they've got it on there at the end. It's just going to end up sitting down into the nest anyway. I'm just going to twist that off of there. That one actually had a little thing in it, so it's going to wind up with a little hole in there. I guess they both do. Yeah, they have these little metal pieces in here. So that actually ended up pulling a little piece of this off there. So yeah, they're like little nails in there. I had no idea those were in there. It's interesting. So these are the nests that were left over. You could use these for something else. I don't know that I'm going to, because I don't know that I need them. But these are what the eggs look like. And yeah, I have mica powder and stuff on me. But that's okay. It's part of crafting. So these are what they look like. What I'm going to end up doing, I think, is possibly using this orange flash, which definitely looks very, very orange. And I may end up using a little bit of this raspberry color also. I thought I had red flash in here, but it doesn't look like I do. I may end up adding a little touch of this black back into those, just to kind of get them a little bit darker. So I'm just going to put one little dot of the black down here. So that's definitely not the color we're looking for. So let's try adding a little bit of the black to it, and then going in with the orange. So we definitely want it to have more of that burnt look, and red, and orange. So I'm thinking I need to start with a darker base, and then do the lighter. So let's try this to start with. So I'm starting it off as a darkened base of like the black instead of the white. Then we'll go over it with the orange. Instead of getting the paint everywhere, I just have it like basically skewered on there. And then when it dries, we'll change colors. It has the black base now, so let's see when we add, if it's helping at all to turn it to that orange. I want it to be that burnt orange color. One thing I'm noticing is, especially where they were laying and they put that little nail in them, but also it looks like on part of these eggs, they may have put, see, that's not the color that's in person. Let's see what this one does. Yeah, this paint is not even that color. Let's see if we can you kind of, that's kind of the color that it is in person. It's really more that dark orange. So now I have like these permanent markers. We're going to try with one of these to do like the permanent markers and just see what it does. So we can definitely get the red tones with the permanent markers. Okay, so if you do the permanent markers, this is what you get, which is in theory what you need. We're looking for, it's definitely the red fiery colors, but we have the orange markers, so we could do the orange with it as well. So I may try one of these and just add in some orange to it, just because when you think, you know, fire, you think red and orange. So maybe let's try to mix this and see what we get, more of a fiery flame color. Because I don't think the bright red or the bright orange is actually the color that you want. I think you want more of like a mix of the two tones. This was just the red, and this one's the red and orange. Really can't tell that much difference on. So I started wiping these eggs down, and I think they're kind of cool looking actually. When you take it and just try to wipe some of the paint off of it, it actually is very cool. It's not all coming off, it's just like a lot of it is. But yeah, that's not what I was expecting it to look like. Yeah, like this is another one. That's actually kind of cool to me. I think I like this better than I think I like this better than I like this. I mean, I know we're looking for that fiery red color, but that's really, really cool looking. But I just feel like it needs to be this deeper, darker red tone. Is that? Yeah, I think that's better. Okay. Now I'm just taking a little bit of the black flash and just kind of tapping it onto the red. Literally just putting a little bit on my fingers and just kind of tapping it on there. Kind of giving it like that deep red tone. Okay, so that's definitely the way to go, is to permanent marker, red, and just add just bits of like a little bit of black. Like I just have a little touch of black on my fingers that I'm just kind of like just kind of like tapping on here just a touch. Burnt look, that darker, deeper, darker red like look to it. Yeah, okay. When Ashwinder eggs, when we're thinking they are about ready to hatch, what color do we think they are then? Do we think they start turning more of the like ashy color, or do we think they remain red upon hatching? Leave me some comments on what you think, what your theory is on an Ashwinder. I've seen some stuff about it, but I don't know that I ever saw anything about how to know when they were about to hatch. This one is redder. This is one of those that we painted. Now I'm just going over it with the marker to try to bring out more red tone in it. But yeah, I'm just curious, what color do we think they are as they're getting ready to hatch? Do they stay red? Do they get more burnt looking, like ashened, or give me some comments on what you think. I'm curious. I feel like potentially they could be darkened as they're getting ready to hatch. They could just shine brighter, I don't really know. This one really looks orange on camera, but it's not. They are definitely turning red now. But these are the ones that we had put black and then the paint on there. Then I just took them and rubbed them on the sponge and got a lot of the paint off of them. So they have just like those little marks on them from like where the paint was coming off on the sponge. So now I'm just taking them and painting on with these permanent markers. They're gonna be different colors, but I think that's fine, right? They don't have to all be the same, I wouldn't think. Like this one is gonna be a little bit darker than the other ones, but I think that's okay. So some of them are redder than the other ones, but we are going to just move forward with this, and we're going to go ahead and put these into our jar. So I'm going to find the one that had the biggest hole in it. I'm going to put it down in the bottom, just to where I want it to kind of be tucked in more. You can still see them really good in there. So this is what I was saying about, I think it will be fine with the way that they are. And I think what I'm going to do is end up putting the ones that have the most dark colors on them close to the ash, just because I feel like those would be darker. The ones that are lighter in color, I'm going to put more on the top, like they are not as burnt. So you can definitely see the difference in the colors on these. But I think that's okay, and I think that works. So now that we have that done, this done, and here's our spoon. I'm just gonna plop it back over here. This is our lid that we have that would go on top of there. Now, I have these little labels here that actually came with some of the other jars. I'm thinking I may take one of these and just put on there on the outside for what it is. You can always just do like a printed label or something, but I don't think I want a true label on here because I feel like it would take away from the appearance of it. So I'm thinking maybe just hang a little label on there. And so I just have a little permanent marker here that I'm just going to write Ashwinder egg on here. So I'm just doing a little label kind of like this one. And then I have some twine over here that I'm thinking I may wrap a little bit around the jar and use this to put my label on with. So let's just see. Now in theory, I guess it would be too hot for this to stay on there, but we're going to just do it. Because I feel like it needs some kind of label on here. So I think I just put this like that, and I think what I'm going to do is tie a knot around this to start with. Just to kind of make my label just kind of like stand out a little bit, and then wrap it, tie it. And this one doesn't really need a lot of decoration on this, because your decoration truly does need to be your eggs. You could loop this a couple of times if you wanted to, but you really don't want to take away from the eggs, because that is the true focus here. Sometimes your label is like the true focus of something. It just depends on, or your jar, depending on what you're doing. But with this, our true focus needs to be the eggs and ash nest. So I just took it and tied it in a knot back here, and I'm going to cut off the excess. Now you can take this and burn this down if you want to get rid of all the little extra pieces back there, but I'm okay with it. And I think that looks really good for the issues that we've been having especially. But I think that is really good. I think it does what it needs to do. I think it serves the purpose, and I'm happy with it. So this ended up being a little harder than it should have been in theory if we had just painted these with the permanent marker to start with, and then just kind of blotted over them with a little bit of the black paint. It would have gone a lot faster and been a lot easier. So I learned my lesson, so you don't have to. But there you go. So here are our Ashwinder eggs. Have you made these? Do you have any thoughts about what you would have done different? Leave a comment and let me know. And with that being said, have a wonderful day. And remember, we love you.